Testing the mic. Testing the mic. 1, 2. Testing the mic. Testing the mic. Testing audio. Testing audio. Testing audio. Testing audio. Checking audio. Checking audio. Testing audio. Testing mic. Well, this might be something that's half interesting to a few people. We are, as you know, down in the western regions of Abu Dhabi, over 200 kilometers away from Dubai, probably 300 kilometers really, 200 kilometers from Abu Dhabi, heading towards the end of the line, a town called Al Sila. But on the way past, this is something that might be of interest to one or two people. There's a power station under construction, a nuclear power plant called Al Barakat or Barakat, I think. You may just see it out of the right hand side of the video when I get past this little wagon. But that's it there. It's yeah, 4 domes, obviously high security area. There's no way you're getting anywhere near to it. But if you can see it, I'll include it in the video. If not, then at least we've tested the microphone. Okay. Sila, next stop. 70 kilometers. Well, this is a road in Abu Dhabi. We are not quite at Sila yet, but there was a road that's open and heading to Braka, which you must assume is the power plant. So I'll have a little drive along it. It's only a single lane, as you can see. What you're seeing oncoming on the other side there, on the right hand side, is traffic going down the E11 to the Saudi border, which is about between 80 and 90 kilometers ahead. This road has a speed limit of 60, which is 100 kilometers slower than the main road to the border. 160 kilometers an hour the speed limit on that road. When you're traveling at that speed, it does feel like you're traveling pretty quickly. If you're used to traveling around about 100 to 120 in that range, to suddenly get fired up to 160 kilometers is quite a big thing. I'll tell you what I'm spotting here is a few signs saying no photography. So what I'm actually going to do is just turn around. You will get obviously a sight of the power plant under construction. I believe it is the Koreans who are building it. So we're way down in the western region of Abu Dhabi. I don't want to get any closer filming, that would be a bit silly, so we shall beat a retreat. There is a roundabout ahead, one that I just turned off, that had one exit that said local road, which is interesting, makes me curious, so I might just have a little drive along that, see what it means when it says local. Might just mean like local access or something. There might be a small little village at the end of it. We'll check it out, we'll have a look. But for now, we'll pause the recording. So this road sign has an exit that says local road, as you can see. I'm curious to see what it means by local road. I don't know whether access will be granted or denied. I'm not a local, That's one thing from sure. I am a long way from home at the moment. I've stepped well and truly onto the other side of Main Street for this one. The local road isn't really a road so much. It's a track. This will be a bit noisy, a bit bumpy. Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of settlement at the end of it. Maybe the original Barakar. One thing I just want to check before we go too much further is whether the audio's recording. Audio's working. Inshallah. God willing, in other words. A popular phrase in this region of the world, inshallah, means God willing. Some of the more cynical in the audience might recognise it as actually meaning that's very unlikely to happen as you expect it to. Right, now I don't want to be too obtrusive here, so I'm just going to film around a little bit. This is like a locals only area, I would say. It's very unlikely you're going to get your expats living here, although some of them would love it. I wouldn't object, depending on what the beach looks like. Yeah, so this would be like a locals only zone. Whoa. My apologies for that, but these roads are pretty rough and ready. Oh, now that's quite nice. Let me just scoot into four-wheel drive, and at least I can show you, because I don't want to go into anybody's private property. That would be a mistake. But I think I can probably just about make it down there without getting stuck. Let me have a look. Yeah, it looks a well-beaten track, this. Right, litter unfortunately, but I'm not going to mention it too much. I'm not sure if we'll get all the way to the end, but we're almost there, aren't we? Almost. We're doing okay. So that's not bad. I don't want to go over any barbed wire. There is some either side of the road. There you go. It's not too shabby. That is somebody's back garden in these parts. I would take that as a push. It would be fair to say the area is not exactly mega well maintained, but yeah, not too much litter on the beach. Little bits, but not too much. Nice blue sea out there. Look at that, beautiful. You can see they must have obviously a breakwater out there for the nuclear power plant, which is down the coastline. Right, well, that is quite pleasant, isn't it? It certainly is. Could almost be the Maldives. Right, now I'm not going to take liberties. I'm going to get turned round here, or not turned round. Yes, I'm going to get turned round if I can. Let's have a look. Okay. I'm just mindful there was some barbed wire around right now. I'm going to reverse out of here, which means that you get a long, lingering look at the Arabian Gulf while I back out. Oh, stay away from that barbed wire. Where was it? Right. It's everywhere. Right, we're okay, we're golden. I shall pause there. I need to concentrate on this manoeuvre. Anyway, there you go, from the Arabian Gulf. Isn't that beautiful? That is really, really beautiful. Right, Next stop, well, we'll film around here a little bit more. Well, let me just say, if you just witnessed the level of reversing skills that I've just demonstrated, you would not be able to be anything other than impressed. Wow. I almost reversed out in the tracks that I made going into the lane. Right. Well, I'm afraid to say this is not a great advert for this region. This is like, I don't guess people live here full time. I might be mistaken. It looks more like they might have holiday homes and sort of visit down here, but some of them are most definitely permanent. Like this one here, that's definitely somebody's plot of land, and that is their boat shed and their bit of land. And as you can see, it actually continues for a way along the coastline. We shan't explore all, but we'll keep going just for a little bit further. Guy out here on a bike. Ah, look at this. This is where we could have camped. Oh, wow. No need to worry about reversing up and down lanes here. Look at how white the sand is. Well, that is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? That is lovely. There you go. Let's having a look up at the beach northwards. Give you a nice little panorama, and that's looking along the beach southwards. Now that is a nice plot of beach, definitely. I'm not sure whether you'd be allowed to camp on it. I'm not sure it's as simple as that. But wow, that's nice. That is nice. Do you know what? I've got a inflatable kayak in the back of the car today. I'm half tempted to get it out later though, because we're on a mission. We're on a mission to film the last town in the UAE before you get to Saudi Arabia. We're off to Sila. Next stop, Sila. Right, we might as well film going back through the town. We've just been down this road, but there you go. It gives you a chance to see it in a different direction. If you look beyond the shacks and the houses as well, it also gives you a chance to see the power plant. There you go. I don't guess many of us out there have seen a nuclear power plant under construction. They get opened in phases. I believe phase 3 is now open. I'm not sure what that means. There's a couple of workmen around doing jobs on properties, but to be honest, not that many. Like I've said previously, there's Ramadan, which means that it's man, it is a quiet month. Don't get me wrong, it's a lovely month to be in the UAE. It's relatively peaceful. It's a bit less full on, but yeah, it is quiet, as in, you know, not that much getting done or going on, but yeah, but all in all, it's a nice time of year to be in the UAE. This Ramadan, I should tell you, is in the end of March, beginning of April. We're at the beginning of April now. So, right, I'm going to turn around here. There's think probably that's enough for now. But yeah, that was a nice little patch of coastline, and I think once we've done our dutiful and filmed Sila, we might pop back for half an hour, put up the parasol and just sit there gazing out into the azure blue of the Arabian Gulf. Do you know what I'd love to see go past? There's a herd of dugong, which are like those incredible sea cow creatures, like the manatee that they have in Florida Keys. Apparently there are herds of them still here, grazing on seagrass, and just having a good time in the shallower waters. Right, I guess this was a local only town called Barakar, and there are some cars ahead, so I'm going to switch off. Well, I realise at the minute the windscreen is a mess. We will fix that as soon as possible. We've just turned off the E11. It's 20 kilometres to the international border with Saudi Arabia. It's 10 kilometres to the border crossing zone called Kataiwat, something like that. Kataiwat, Kataifat. I've seen it spelt as usual half a dozen different ways. I'm trying to get a picture of the Sila roundabout. It's proving difficult. I can't get a good angle on it. I might have to get it on the way back. Although having said that, there are no cars coming. Are there? No, there aren't. That is the roundabout there. It is a water well with some oryx. You'll see it again probably as we depart the town. We're on Al Musawa Street. Sila literally is the end of the line for the UAE. This is the border town. I've been to a few border towns over the years. Poi Phet in between Thailand and Cambodia. Calais and Dover, obviously, which are France and the UK. Sila already, I'm seeing signs for a public park. An animal wealth and agricultural affairs service. Animal feed and foodstuffs. Local access to the right. We may check that at some point. Take the second exit though to Sila. It's another nice roundabout. Look at that. Palm tree in the middle of it. One of the first sort of things we're spotting. Nice mosque. Red and white pylons. We have been following red and white power line pylons for the last 250 kilometers, and I think this is the end of the line for them. I don't think they go on much further than this. This is this is Sila. This is the end stop in the UAE. To give you some sort of idea, we've travelled south from Dubai maybe 350 kilometers, maybe 380, something like that. I haven't kept an actual check. And we're going to have a look around the town. We're not going to see the whole city, town. It is much bigger than it appeared on Google Maps. I can tell you that already from what I'm seeing in front of me. You're probably not seeing exactly the same on the camera, but it is big. We've got a water tower to the left, desalination, probably something like that. So yeah, this is like a proper town for proper people. Sila, that's the third sign I've seen for Sila Public Park. So obviously they're making a big play of that. We might get a chance to check it out for ourselves. Things I'm observing as we enter the settlement. Well, sand. It's a very familiar colour palette, this. It's like burnt umber. There you go. Very sandy. All the buildings even are the same sort of beige colour. I am mindful. I'm just going to pull in when we get a bit of shade somewhere, because I need to clean the windscreen. Now, I don't really want to go down to the industrial area, which is down this road, but if I find a bit of shade, that'll do for getting the windscreen clean. Oh, actually, well, this may be a sign to the industrial area, but it looks like we're heading to the beach to me, which obviously we don't object to. The sun is fairly much, or pretty much, right overhead at the minute, so actually finding some shade is tricky. Anyway, we're going to clean the windscreen. Back with you in a bit. Right, the windscreen is clean. There you go. The trouble we go to these videos. It's only right and proper though. When you've driven, what should we call it? We'll round it up to, I'm going to say, best part of 400 kilometres. You probably should record with a clean windscreen. Well, that is likely. I think that looks like an ice factory. Probably. That's like the outskirts of Sila. That's obviously the beach side. Wow, I've got to tell you, if you land a job in Sila, you are like in the boondocks. Really, goodness me, this is way out of town. Gonna go back to Main Street and check out like the main strip. See already a lot of the houses in a similar style, makes me think government housing. Probably a few little standalone villas, like for example this one here. For example, this one here on the corner of Anjar Street. Little standalone villa, I'm going to say, is nice. Look at that. I mean, for basic, that's a nice little villa. There's a police station up here on the left side. We'll be doing everything we can to try not to end up in there today. And then on the right hand side, well, there's somebody doing a bit of gardening, greenscaping. There are trees, there are bushes. This looks like a bank or something similar to that, maybe opening up. Say a bank or something, could literally be anything. It says it's going to be a sports facility. So yeah, this is the main road into Sila. We've got a couple of banks on the right hand side. Some villas, they make me think government housing. This would have been one of those projects where the Bedu from like 50 or 60 years ago were housed in government. The Bedu would have been like the nomadic herdsmen that used to roam these areas with their goat herds and camel herds, things like that. Well, they were housed by the government, so this would have been probably one of those towns, and it's built up from that. So yeah, the border to Saudi Arabia, our big neighbour, big boy on the block, is about 10 kilometres further south. So yeah, this is the last UAE town before you get to that. Yeah, on the right hand side there's a park. There's some lawn and some desert combined. Big park, Al Sila Public Park. Open. It looks quite nice. Tons of trees and stuff like that. Play park. We're heading towards the city centre. Yeah, when I looked at this place on Google Maps, it looked like it was maybe like a square of about 10 or 15 blocks. But now that you're seeing it up close and personal, it is much bigger than that. I mean, it is it's a full city. This is not like a half-sized little town or anything like that. This is a full-sized municipal city. Do not know what the occupancy is. I could maybe find out and flash it on the screen if possible. I don't know much about gender breakdowns or population. There's some workmen out doing some work. So the only people that I've seen so far are South Asian and male. I'm not supposing that that's the entire town, but that's all I've spotted so far. Down here on Mina Street, there is the Sila bus station. Oh, I'd love to know what a fare on a bus up to Abu Dhabi would be from here. That would be heavily subsidised. On the right hand side here we've got a school, the Barakar School, closed at the moment. We're in like half-term holidays. Parade of shops, everything's like identikit here though. Everything's kind of looking very the samey. Some plots under construction on both sides of the road here, the left and the right side. I wonder if there's like I'm going to have a look down here. Jazirat Al Mihanmat Street. So I guess all of these streets more or less lead down to the beach, which is all right. Tell you what, if you wanted like a simple life away from everyone and anything, then this could be the place for you, possibly. This is like a beach road, the back side of the town, or a bit of litter caught up in the vegetation. And then that's interesting, maybe that's the industrial area it was talking about. You can see, I'm not going to drive down to it, but out there in the distance is like a breakwater harbour or a port. Yeah, there's quite a bit out there. I doubt we'll get a chance to check that out. Not really today. Look, this looks like one of the OGs. That would have been, or that is, like a villa compound from a long time ago. Yeah, that probably would have been one of the originals. It's got the old wrought iron doors I've mentioned in a previous video, I think, like the Emirati style doors. I see some more on the triple. Remind ourselves what they look like. And we're going to go back up to Sila Street. We haven't hit the city centre yet, I don't think. We're still on a signpost. Some old villas. We'll get a chance to check those out in a bit. They're loving the speed bumps. They do love a speed bump around here. So in order to get here, we left Abu Dhabi and drive south on the E11 or the E12 then the E11, which are the two right. So the E11 runs basically from the Saudi border to the northern border, Ras Al Khaimah and Oman, the Muslim Peninsula. Must be knocking on the door of 600 kilometers, I'd say, probably. So that runs the full length of the UAE. And then like I said earlier, the speed limit on that road when you get to this western district of Abu Dhabi is like 160 kilometers an hour, which is pretty fast. Certainly if you're used to driving like 100 or 120, like in that sort of ballpark, then 160 really you feel like you are motoring. I think we may have driven through the city centre without recognising it. Some workmen here. Tough work assignment if you end up out here, I'll tell you that, goodness me. Some nice new villas going up. This one here, it's the size of a palace. Huge villa on the outskirts of town. Now we haven't really looked at there is a residential area for Sila, so we'll go and check that out now. Just kind of keep gravitating back to the same beachside road, but we might come back to this later. We'll go and check out the residential zone because there is one. Like with a few of the places we've been to recently, I'm not sure who would actually live in these sort of areas. I don't know whether locals live here or migrant workers or people who are employed by the border crossing. I don't know how many people realistically that could provide for though, really. I'm going to have to go back over these speed bumps again, which is a pain. In fact, we're not going to go over all of them. We're going to take our earliest opportunity to get off them, I think. Not this one, the next one. Nice mosque there on the left hand side. Swinging a right up Mawada Street. This is a residential zone. Some of these villas are proper old school villas and some are a bit newer. Well, there are trees dotted around all over the place. Plenty of birds flying around. Tell you what we'll do. Should we do what we do sometimes? We'll put the microphone out the window. Let's see what we can hear. You're right, this is like professional grade recording today. There you go. They're all over, all birdies. I've got my UAE field guide to the bird life of the UAE. I'm not spotting anything revolutionary there. Whoop. Some ball bells and little doves, palm doves they're called, nice pinky little things. Something there on the right hand side, I'll be honest, not knowing what it is. Could be a school possibly is what I'm thinking. So yeah, we're more into a residential, goodness me, wide streets. Well, not a wide street, but a wide area either side. We're on Calab Street. Just for anybody who's interested, following us on Google Maps. That'd be a fun thing to do, wouldn't it? Yeah, this is a residential zone, but without that much residency going on by the looks of things. I'm not sure how wide the camera span is, so I'm not sure what you're seeing of this residential area. I'm going to swing a right up Al Tafir Street because it looks like there's an apartment block or something up here. I do find it quite amusing that like the colour everywhere is beige, obviously sand, and then all the buildings are just beige as well. There's no like different shades of beige. Well, there's a bit more life on this street. Let's have a look here. Firstly, congratulations to anybody ending up here. It's the Al Sila Wedding Hall for men. I'm going to guess opposite to us is, oh, the airstrip. I thought it was going to be the wedding hall for ladies. But I suppose the wedding hall for ladies is probably down at that far end where the other UAE flag is flying. Oh, separate gender marriages in the UAE. Strange-ish for some. But it is what it is. It's a thing. Airstrip and helipad for those VVIPs who fly in, check on the western region. I guess this whole region will have like a head sheikh, a sheikh who's been given this region to govern. Now we're seeing a little change up in the style of buildings here. This is an apartment block. I'm assuming it is. There you go. There's another one next to it, identical. Some gym equipment. A play park. There you go. Do you know what I like about the UAE? One of the many things I like. They have all these cool little play parks. They have public gyms all over Dubai, all over Abu Dhabi, all over everywhere now. You know, quite cool. They never get vandalised. If they were in the UK, they'd be smashed to bits within a week. Not even a week, overnight. There's a nice big villa. This probably looks like it might be shared accommodation now, but nice big size. That was the second building, yeah. There's like, you know, I don't know what you call it, a level of respect, I guess, for things. It's not apparent everywhere else. I'm not saying that every play park in the UK gets smashed to bits, but they'd be lucky if they survive a year without being vandalised in some way. This is Al Sila School. That's the president of the country, Sheikh, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Sultan Al Nayam. Sorry, Mohammed bin Zayed. Mohammed Al Zayed bin Nayam. So he's the president of the UAE, but he's also the president of, or the ruler of Abu Dhabi. This is the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. Al Mina Street, another residential area. most of the residential area is on the left hand side of the street, so I'm not sure if you're seeing any of it really. However, we're going to duck down this road here, Dohat Al Sila Street. Don't know what a Dohat is. This is more residential, definitely. There you go. So maybe Ramadan tent on the right side, little modulus space, nice. Some water trucks parked up here. I don't know if that's a water station. I don't think it is though. It doesn't look like one. Yeah, and then if I slow down a little bit, you'll see the villas either side of the road and villas ahead. So yeah, this is a residential area. Supermarket doesn't really look open. Cozy Cup cafeteria is definitely closed. Might open around 6:30. That's when iftar starts. We'll continue down this road a little bit because this is our bread and butter for these tours. This is our residential zone. There are cars parked out most places. It looks fairly occupied. Can't say for sure. I haven't seen anybody on the street at all. Like nobody. Well, he says that and then somebody walks out of the driveway balancing a load of serving dishes on his head. There you go. We're getting those ready for later on. Excuse me. Straight over the roundabout. We'll resist the temptation to go up Fakamat Street. On the right hand side there is another quite pleasant looking mosque. These mosques are definitely a different style to the ones that we've seen in Al Quain, Ras Al Khaimah, places like that. These are like desert mosques is what I would describe them as. Looks like it is in the desert, belongs in the desert. Deeb Street to the right, sticking on Dohat Al Sila. Yeah, nice, another little Ramadan tent there, modulus tent. And then we got the villas either side. Bit of traffic on this junction. Have to stop. And a change of road service. We're onto cobbles here, and some more residential. Nice mosque again on the left hand side. It says Majlis Al Sila. I see. So that'll be like a meeting place for people. I should probably go and have a look at that. Yeah, Majlis would be like a meeting place where men get together, men mainly, not being sexist, but it would mainly be men. I guess it'd be Majlises for ladies as well. Ladies clubs, I think they're called. So this is a mosque, nice, looks like a fairly new build. And then that's like a Majlis where men would meet up, talk about what's going on. The ruler's representative court for the Western region. Maybe that's where I should drop into there sometime and see if I can rent a plot of beach space. wish I could find a road without these speed bumps, but I can't. If you look ahead, we've got like we've got a residential area where the houses really are oh, not only that, we've got one that's under construction. Fancy that. Let's grab a quick drink. For anybody who's a fan of, what's it called again, where people make a sound when they're eating and drinking? Mukbang. Alright. For anybody who might be a mukbang fan, there you go, that was especially for you. I said they're under construction. I don't think they are under construction. I think just the way I was looking at them looked like they didn't have roofs completed. They do, they're just very flat. Right, these are identikit houses. They're identical. Either side of the road. You're looking like a mirror image of your own property. I'm guessing this will be government housing for locals. It usually follows that sort of formula or format. Nice, some big villas, probably 5-6 bedrooms, a couple of maids' rooms, bit of land around it. Nice. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause recording there. If we come across anything interesting, we'll start recording again. We'll keep you in the loop. Okay. I am curious whether I actually drove through city centre. I think I may have done inadvertently without even realising. So I'm going to go back to that main street and see if we can figure out the mystery of city centre. Right, but for now, we'll start up again if we spot anything interesting. Yeah, so we're back on the road again. There are just a couple of things to look at before we finish off filming in Sila. I'm questioning whether this was worth the enormous trip, but having said that, we haven't all driven down in one go. We had a night in Abu Dhabi, which was nice, Abu Dhabi City. I went to the Louvre museum. That was very nice, wasn't it? And then we have had a night at Jebel Dhanna Resort, which is a pretty nice government hotel. It might not sound great, government hotels, but I mean, it's a lovely hotel. Pool, great beachfront rooms, water view rooms. Anyway, let's not get distracted by that. We're in Sila. This is another area of residence. This is on the way into town. Villas, townhouses, apartment blocks maybe. Not looking as new as the ones we just drove through. I've got a feeling this might be like the first phase of government housing, maybe, which is now no longer preferred, and maybe it's morphed into kind of shared. Yeah, it looks like places for rent here, so I guess it's morphed into like a shared ownership or apartment share, villa share, that sort of thing. Some of the villas quite nicely maintained, some less so. Kids play park does allude to the fact that there are families in this area. I haven't seen any, but it's Ramadan, so people tend to rest during the day. Fasting, of course, we've talked about it though. One last little mosque. Well, it's not little, but one last mosque there. And I think if we turn right back onto the main strip, my suspicion was we might have driven past the city centre without realising. I think we have. I think this is the city centre. So we've got a big ADNOC. Fantastic. And then the park, of course, which we saw earlier. There is a port, there's a sign for a port down there, yeah. And then the city centre is this parade of shops. So we'll go and take one more look at it. And the work gangs are just having a bit of downtime in the shade now. It's prayer time, 12:40. They're taking lunch, they're not fasting. Only the Muslims. Other religions are not required to. It's one of the nice things about the UAE, tolerance of all people from different backgrounds and ethnic groups, and yeah, if you have to fast or you feel that you do, then you do. If you don't, then it's not forced on you or anything like that. Right, clinic, Istanbul Flower Grills, Akram Market. This is the city centre. Off the top of my head, I don't think there's anything we're desperate for at the minute. We've been after a phone charger for the last couple of days, but I think we've charged up in the car now. And then there's a second parade of shops, mobile phones, a little library, not a library actually, it's like a stationery store, Limra supermarket, general trading, Patron ladies tailoring. Looks very nice. Couple of shawarma shops. Security guys, Transguard doing the pickup from the money exchange. I bet that is popular at the end of the month. A lot of people will be remitting from this town, is what I suspect. There's a post office. And then there is a little parade of shops on the other side of the road, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's very, very similar to the ones we just passed. There's like a cafe and a saloon. Garments and gifts. This is old school shopping centre. This really is. This is nothing too fancy around here. Just keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. Right. So no, I'm not going to swing a U-turn. I'm not going to record that. Then we got the bus station, which we filmed earlier, and there is a road down to the beach. So I'm going to see if we can get as far as the beach front, and then maybe do a bit of filming there. So we're heading left off Main Street, right? Sorry, down Mina Street towards the port, Sila Port. I didn't realise Sila had a port, and on the right side, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank. So you're getting to see quite a bit of Sila at the moment. Some of you may even feel it's an overload, so I'm going to pause. I love a good roundabout. And 3 blue dolphins spitting into a central pool. Sorry, it's not 3, 2, and 1 dribbling slightly. That's what I want on a roundabout. Fortunately, there is like 0 traffic in this area. So let's get it from a different angle. That is magnificent. Man, if I was king of a country, every roundabout would look like that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Right, round the roundabout, and we're going down to the beach. Round the roundabout, dolphin roundabout. Ah, look at this, there is a sign ahead. Welcome to the Al Yasat Marine Protected Area. Those are manatees. Oh, it would be incredible to spot a manatee. I doubt we will though. Wow, this is a long road. So Sila's behind us. We're done with Sila now. I feel we're all sealed out. Let me get to the end of this road and we'll restart a little bit of new footage. Right, so this is Sila Port and the Fishermen's Cooperation Centre. This is called a khor in Arabic. Khor, khor, like a creek. Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. But if I swing around here, we're not going to go out. So that'll be like a fishing port. Water's nice and clear. So that there's like a proper harbour. There's actually some divers just going out, but I've just missed them. On the back of a dive boat. And then this is nice, I don't know if you can see that. Right in the middle of the picture, that is a traditional trade boat from this region called a dhow. And that one is grounded. Obviously decorative now, I suppose. Tell you what I'm liking about this, no oil in the water, no rubbish, trash. This is a tidy space. And we've got a tiny little patch of mangroves. Look at that. A little mangrove forest. Now, I hope we don't get chased off by this in front of us, but there is a cock. Hello. Or is it a hen? Is that a hen or a cock? It's a rooster. Two roosters. They look like identical twins. There you go, look at that. It's got the run of the place, those two. Here we are, drying some fish. I shall say hello. Hey there. How you doing? I think you're trying to sell us something there. Two gentlemen drying some fish. So, Sila Port. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tootle along this road here, which I believe is called Gagafal Street, and it may take us potentially to the end of the line, which is a spot called Ras Musharib, which I've always wanted to go to. It's going to take about 30 minutes to get there, so I doubt we're going to film the whole process of driving there.
Continue on Almina Street for 1.5 kilometers.
As you can see, I'm using Google Maps. It seems quite incredible.
I'll take you out of driving mode. Is that okay?
No, don't do that. What seems quite incredible to me is we're still within.
I'll take you out of driving mode. Is that okay?
No. We're still within.
Okay.
We're still within cell phone range. Like, well, I mean, there are obviously cell phone towers everywhere. Now I just mentioned that I see them everywhere, so maybe it's not as amazing as I first thought. Right, when we get to Ras Musharib, well, when we get to Ras Musharib, we'll reconvene. Well, this is the end of the line for today's journey. We didn't make it as far as Ras Musharib, it was 18 kilometers along a graded track, which was just like some other time we just pulled up to like this little outcrop of rock, layered sort of sandstone, you can see there, and actually it has quite cool little white mushroom on top there. You can also maybe see that. The end of the line for us today, also the end of the line for these boys. It's a few gazelle, I think. I don't think they're goats, or maybe gazelle goats, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4 skulls. Strange. So looking over this is like a coastal plain, some sort of resort or private sort of beach residence there, and then there's like a little fishery, and then there are some random plots of camel farm and stuff like that. So for us now, I think that's Ras Al Mushkarib up, like is really in the distance there. That's 18 kilometers over track, not today. Right, that's us signing off from the western. There's the wife, look at that, the Kenyan, giving you a little wave goodbye. Like I said, we did think about camping here, but the first few beaches we went to just weren't all that nice, so we're in a hotel. We want to get back to it, sun lounger and a drink. Sounds like a plan for the afternoon. Right, so I just sign off. Ramadan Kareem and Assalamu Alaikum from the western, the Wild West, as it's known in expat circles, the Wild West. Well, we are approaching Dhanna City, and this is a company town. I want to say that, what I mean is ADNOC, the Abu Dhabi National
600 meters at the roundabout, take the third exit.
Oil company, I guess has built this for its workforce. It must have quite a significant workforce in this area, because there's an enormous industrial zone, including obviously the prize in the crown, which is the oil refinery. So this is now, again, Dhanna City's big. We're not going to drive around the whole thing, and we'll have a little drive down this strip and then come back on ourselves. We did drive through here yesterday, and there is different types of housing, I guess different scale of housing. This is all apartments. I guess it's fairly identikit. I think anybody who maybe is familiar with Dubai's international city or anything like that might be thinking, hang on, this looks a lot like the Nakheel Development International City. It does to me. I don't want to be unkind and say like a low grade of apartments, but no balconies, they're all kind of identical. Utilitarian, that's the right word, that is the word I will use, utilitarian, for the people. So this says Ruwais Central Park. Now Ruwais, by the way, Dhanna, this might not be Dhanna City actually, I think this is somewhere slightly different to where I intended to come. Ruwais is an enormous industrial zone as well. So, and I think Ruwais is a lot bigger than just oil refining and that sort of thing. There was like a nice park area down there, I don't know if you saw that. Sort of scooted past it. So So yeah, I'm not like 100% sure that this is the Dhanna city that I was anticipating ending up at. In fact, it's not really. As is often the case on these misadventures. We'll have a little drive down here. I have a feeling things won't change much though. Now that thing on the right hand side, you might think, God, that palm tree is an emergent palm tree. About 150 times bigger than it should be. That's actually a cell phone mast. So cleverly disguised as a mutant palm tree. We're going to go straight over here. I can see a different style of housing coming up in front of us. And maybe this is more the area I was thinking that we were going to arrive at. So this is apartment buildings. By the way, you can see these apartment buildings an absolute mile off when you're approaching this area. It's super flat. This part of Abu Dhabi is like a coastal plain, gravelly, not much to it, not that many features. There is a small hill, Jebel Dhanna, but beyond that there isn't that much really. So yeah, you see this place like sticking out a mile out when you start approaching. One thing I would say, the apartments that we've just sort of driven through there, they do look new build, that's for sure. And I think where we're heading now, like I said, the first time I've driven around here, so I am seeing this with a fresh pair of eyes myself. Screen space. Lady's just taking a little stroll before iftar. That's about an hour away. People have been fasting for the day. Yeah, we're going to have a little drive up a slightly different type of street here. Now this is apartment buildings again. They do not, there's a bus service. They don't look as new as the ones that we drove through earlier on. See all the buildings there. So everything's sort of itemized, if you like. I guess you get employed by the company and they allocate you your apartment. The weather station on the right hand side, little kids play park, well, 2 swings. Trees everywhere though, it's not bad. But it is, we're at a stop intersection here. It is identical, like it's the same basically. I don't know how you would feel about living in somewhere like this. Maybe you'd be brave enough to venture a comment in the comments box. It reminds me very much of a suburb of Dubai called The Gardens, which is in the Jebel Ali industrial area, funnily enough, so maybe they use that as a model for this. It seems strange, there's these little bandstands, I don't know if you can see that, like pagoda. They're a recurring feature. I'm beginning to more or less figure out where we may have been in this sort of zone last time we drove through, or yesterday when we drove through here. So again, we're moving from apartments to townhouses now. Yeah, and these townhouses look very, very similar to an old part of Dubai, now sadly no longer with us, called Jebel Ali Village, which was as an expat hub for so many years, and then unfortunately just got demolished like 3 months ago, something like that. Just having a drive up here actually reminds me of that area. Mind you, I'm going to be honest, my gut reaction is to say that I don't think a single one of these villas is occupied. In fact, it looks like this place is cleaned up a bit. It doesn't look like it's completely abandoned, but yeah, I would say that this is not occupied anymore. By the way, the ADNOC colours, in case you're not getting it, are blue and white. So everything's corporate in it. You see what I mean here? Kind of nature is prevailing in this battle. There you go. The gardens aren't getting watered. Surviving. There's a nice desert rose there. Very pretty. So yeah, I don't think that these are occupied anymore, and I think what we drove through yesterday maybe is the replacement villas to this, because it was a brand new townhousey sort of kind of development. So that was one set of villas. I mean, there are like streets and streets of the same sort of thing running around all the way around here. Yep, more villas either side. 2nd Street West. I think this is yeah, so the road signs seem to be even westernized. Or the street layout, I should say, the street layout. Large central roundabout. There is something ahead, there's a large fountain ahead, but I think we'll just have a little scoot down here. We can always come back, I think, to the fountain. So yeah, this is a mosque up ahead, obviously. Seen a few of those over the last few days, haven't we? And then the Uthman bin Affan Mosque. It looks like we can do a little spin around it. In fact, there's a bus service, Dhanna Mall. This may be the mall, possibly. What I'm liking here, like, look at this was obviously built in the 70s, so obvious. Look at the brutalistic sort of architecture. There's a rehabilitation centre there. Like if I have a look down here, this is what I spotted. They look like mushroom ahead, like solid concrete sunshades and things like that. That's something that I really associate with like some of the earlier buildings in Dubai that were built like to Egyptian design standards and Iranian design standards. I'm not sure. I'd like to go a bit. What I really, the Grocery Retail Ladies Club. What I really wanted to do was just to get a better perspective of what I was trying to describe. There's a ladies club up ahead, so if I just slow here, there's no traffic. Like that there, that style of architecture looks like bang out of the 70s. And the reason I did this little U-turn was just to get a better view of them ahead of us here. So we'll be turning into them in a second if the road is clear, which it is. So yeah, that there. It's abandoned now, there's nothing in there, nothing occupying it. And the villas as well. And the villas there as well. So yeah, say like this is probably old ADNOC, and there is a new ADNOC nearby. We're just going to try and find it. But before we do, something has been troubling me slightly, and it is the fact that there are smear marks. Yeah, obviously this isn't maintained here. There are smear marks all over the windscreen, which we must get rid of for your viewing pleasure. So what I'll do, I'll leave you with a nice long lingering view there. Right, got rid of all those nasty smears. Right, abandoned in front of us. I love the architecture though. Look at that. It looks like something out of I don't know, it's like a Russian nuclear bunker or something out of Star Wars or something like that. A little bit of graffiti inside, just spot that. So yeah, I would love to know where we're heading for new ADNOC. I had intended this just to be like a 10-minute blitz, but now it looks quite interesting to me. So it's going to be a bit longer than a 10-minute blitz, I have a feeling. The sun's getting lower in the sky. I want to try and avoid digging into iftar time. COVID students for school staff. COVID screening was a thing here, definitely. We're on Avenue G. Wow, look at that. Let's go round the roundabout. Around the roundabout. We're going to go onto Avenue G because there is quite an incredibly shaped building in the middle of it. Look at that. I think that's the clinic, or it looks like civil defence, something like that. Quite cool. And the big fountains. Well, we're going to just swing a U-turn here. I think it says I'm okay to take a left, so we will do. E-scooters everywhere. So this looks like civil defence zone. That's exactly what it says there. Old Dhanna Centre, civil defence. And then obviously two massive fountains and a water pond. Yes, I suppose if this was built, definitely some older buildings there on the other side. I guess if this was built in the sort of late 70s or early 80s when ADNOC and Abu Dhabi oil had its first boom, it's probably quite revolutionary, because I can see within this area, I can see so many sort of impressions of like modern day developments in Dubai. Like, for example, those lakes there, you got JLT, which is Jumeirah Lakes Towers, which isn't that much different to having some apartment blocks, although they are bigger and shinier, overlooking some lakes. So big travel agency. I guess ADNOC take care of everything, or they would have done. They would have taken care of absolutely everything for the employees at one point. I wouldn't know if it's the same now. I don't think businesses work in exactly the same way, do they? But my suspicion is that probably that is how it was then. Alright, Al Dhanna North bus station. And this looks like a sort of taxi rank area. I almost want to ask the taxi drivers where the new part of town is. Although the old part is fascinating. I want to try and get this recording done in one hit. I don't want it sort of hanging over for example, tomorrow or anything like that. I want to get it done. I'm just mindful of security in front of us, so we'll just pop him down. Right, back in the room. There you go. E. It says ADNOC Schools, which is what we drove through yesterday. I might check those in a minute. Oh wow, there's a guest house, the Al Yash guest house. If you have people visiting. This is the ADNOC Administration Building and Recreation Centre. Well, these are things that I did not expect to see, and we are seeing them. So there we go. This looks a lot more new build. Definitely. This is not the same. I don't think this is the same age or the same style as the ADNOC we've just driven through. Yeah, this is more of a new build area. I'm going to take a U-turn here. And have a drive. So I wonder if that sort of central area was the demarcation between old and new. Yeah, these look new to me. Apartment buildings on the right hand side. On the left hand side there's lots of car parking space for some administrative blocks, I think. We're at the end of the line here. There's lots of parking spaces. 10 out of 10 for parking. I'm wondering if this is the road we were on yesterday. It is, because I can show you this just quickly. There was a flooded roundabout in front of us. We drove past this yesterday. Today we will go around it because I know where we'll end up. Oh, well, that's quite, there you go. Isn't that quite Lucky Sue, isn't it? Yes. So Sue. There's obviously a pipe burst somewhere around here, so sorry. Ahead of us are the sort of new build townhouses. And the new ADNOC schools and like the new town, I suppose. Right, I'm pleased about that because like I said, I just want to get this done. Not that it's a chore, just, you know, things taking ages, really. Well, these are old villas again. No. We don't want the old, we want to see the new, the contrast. Well, actually, I say that. Maybe we do want to see these villas. I'm reversing into them, I do realise that, but you will see in a second. These villas are empty. They don't even have front doors, for example. These villas are officially abandoned. And these are the old villas. X677, for example, and X668. I don't see X666. Oh, that's the one I would have liked. So, this again is old ADNOC. Nice palm tree, look at that in the middle. Nice big sidra tree. This is new ADNOC. It's not up there. There's a big barrier. amongst the old stuff. Again. I'm a little bit lost now. Sue seems to think we came from a different road, which we'll check out. She's been right on this trip more times than me. So all of this area seems to be not derelict, obviously, but just not occupied. I don't know, when I was looking up here it looked like a barrier, but I think I do remember. You were right, thank you very much. High five. We're on Sheikh Khalifa Road, and this is the way that we came yesterday. So everything on the left hand side unoccupied, old again. On the right hand side is like a big fenced something, like a palace, or maybe they're like the executive homes for the executives who live on the hill. Do you think we continue down here? Kids Fantasy Nursery. Doesn't look very new build. Do you know what? I'm almost beginning to sweat. I'm feeling the pressure of finding this area before either I run out of things to say, or B, before the sunlight runs out. Sue spotted the schools, yes. Right. There are, I'll not go up to the schools, I don't think I'll be able to. There are 3 what look to me to be identical schools. Well, actually I'm not doing a great job, I can't really describe the schools. I will have to try and at least show you what I think a school looks like. So we're allowed up here, I would say. Wow, that's bright sunlight. Good job I remembered my UV filter. I don't know if you're going to see it at all there. The sun's right behind it at the worst possible angle. There's a school on the hill with a sports hall, ADNOC schools. I see them advertise in the papers from time to time for teachers. The 3 schools look identical. And that means that the newer area, or the newer townhouses, oh, here's a much better school to look at, because firstly the sun's not directly behind it, so this is one of the schools. Yes. And then if you just pan this away, there is another school which I think is identical. I guess if you're building one, you might as well build 3 or 4 all at once. Right, and then on the other side of the road, you're just getting this in the absolute perfect time, the golden hour we're in at the moment. That's like a new build apartment block with different colours going up it, like in layers, like a jam sandwich. I suspect that school, that's a male high school. I guess the other identical one next door was the female high school. I must assume that schooling and stuff would be included in most people's work contracts. So I work for ADNOC. I think this is very similar to like the American style system in Saudi, wasn't it, where the Saudi Aramco had housing for tens of thousands of employees. And which way here do you think, Sue? We're going to go straight. Cedar. I think that's a good choice. Getting tailed by a Mercedes here. Mercedes-Benz limousine. It's very nice. Left-hand side are the townhouses that I had in mind. So this is all new build, and these look like townhouses. And I think if I go much further on, I'm going to end up in some sort of Al Ruwais industrial, and I don't want to do that. Yes, I think this is where we drove through, and I was just wondering because every house is identical. They're all townhouses. So my guess is the parts of Dhannah that are not occupied anymore, those like single story bungalow villas, have probably, that are now empty, have been moved into this new build ADNOC, like Mark 2.0 if you like, or the beta version. This is definitely all new build. The mosque styling, for example, that's definitely new. All of the buildings' corners are crisp, and concrete and plaster on the outside rendering all looks very new. Little play parks. So yeah, this is, you're right, absolutely, Sue, thank you for that. She knew the way. Clueless when it comes to this sort of thing at the moment. This one is like cycle tracks down the side of the roads. So I guess this is a new ADNOC. It just seems to go on. I couldn't believe I couldn't find it. Goodness me, isn't that ridiculous? It's so big. I mean, I'm looking now at maybe, there must be hundreds of identical streets, basically. So it is interesting. Well, this is sort of housing that appeals to the masses. Identical housing for everybody. Road V12, sorry. It's on a bus route, so I guess there's buses all around here. There's a little community mall, which we'll have a look at. We are getting towards the end of this. We've found what we wanted to find. I must admit, I think that the old ADNOC has a little bit more charm and character. However, if you wanted a bigger living space, and people do, then it makes sense that you build bigger houses. And you got to think, you know, I don't know what the cost of one of these units would be, but even if it was as low as maybe $25,000 or something like that to put up, imagine they've put up tens of thousands of them by the looks of things. So there is a little community mall here. I'm just going to pull into it. don't think that's where I pull in now. I think you pull in here, don't you? So there's a new build mosque, new architecture, new styling. Pleasant. Talabat delivery. LA Lakers up ahead. Somebody getting his iftar. Yeah, and then there's like Egypt kitchen. Oh, mind a falafel sandwich, eh? Beans and hoppers, specialty coffee. Yeah, so I guess they'll just have tons of these. This is like a very small 5 or 6 outlets. They'll be all over the campus, I suppose. We'd call it a campus. A great business opportunity setting businesses up here though, wouldn't it? Now basically I think that I will be retracing my steps to get back to where we started this tour in order to get out of Dhannah City. We've seen the old ADNOC, we've seen the new ADNOC. I think, did we come up there?
Schools,
Schools, yeah. I want to go to the schools, yeah. We do want to go to the schools. So we're going to lap around here. We are signing off, that is it. We've had fun in the western region. We've got a lovely hotel we're staying at. And we're going to get back to it. We've been fasting on and off today, not strictly, but we have a little bit. So we're going to have a nice iftar. I'm just going to slow down. I say thank you for joining us on this trip. It's interesting to see different places, and yeah, we've seen some different places. So as the sun sets, we've just lost it behind those buildings. We're signing off. If there's anything else mega interesting, we'll pause and restart. But assuming there isn't, we'll just say again, Ramadan Mubarak and Assalamu Alaikum. There's the sun, there's some palm trees, that's your money shot.